Angel Reese, a prominent figure in women's basketball, has recently gained attention for speaking out against harassment, particularly related to her presence in the sport and her rivalry with Caitlin Clark. Reese has accused people of sexualizing her and creating fake AI-generated images that are intended to be harmful or exploitative. She argues that much of this harassment stems from her role in the world of women's basketball, where her competitive relationship with Clark has fueled tensions. In her comments, Reese has pointed to her fans and Clark supporters as the primary sources of this online vitriol. The rivalry between Reese and Clark, two of the most high-profile players in college basketball, has intensified due to their team's competition, including during the 2023 NCAA Women's Basketball Championship game. This rivalry has led to polarized fan bases and, according to Reese, has sparked an increase in online abuse, much of it sexual in nature. However, many people have questioned the validity of Reese's claims, with some pointing out that the nature of the online discourse surrounding athletes, especially women, can be complex. While many support her stance and acknowledge the harassment women athletes often face, others question whether the attention on her accusations is being used strategically in the context of her ongoing rivalry with Clark. This situation highlights broader discussions about the ways in which female athletes are treated differently, both online and offline, compared to their male counterparts.
Never been beef. Like, we've talked trash to each other in AAU. Like, that it's been that. So I think it's really just the fans, her fans, the Iowa fans, now the Indiana fans that are like, they ride for her. And I respect that respectfully, but sometimes it's very disrespectful.
Angel Reese's argument centers around the notion that she is being unfairly harassed and sexualized, particularly due to her involvement in women's basketball and her rivalry with Caitlin Clark. In a recent podcast, Reese shared that people had created AI-generated images of her in compromising situations and sent these to her family members, causing confusion and concern. Her family reached out to her, further escalating the situation. Reese attributes much of this harassment to her status in the basketball world, and specifically, to the fans of Caitlin Clark, whom she suggests are part of the problem. However, the situation has sparked significant pushback from many fans and commentators. Some point out that Reese's own social media presence features images where she is dressed in revealing or provocative clothing, leading them to argue that she may be sexualizing herself online. This perspective raises the question of whether her accusations of harassment are entirely genuine, with some questioning whether her choice to post certain images could contribute to the type of attention she claims to be receiving. These critics suggest that while harassment is a real issue, Reese's social media presence could be seen as contributing to the narrative that she is being unfairly targeted. This debate highlights the complexities of how athletes, particularly women, navigate their public image and online presence. It also brings attention to the broader conversation about the ways in which female athletes are sexualized and the blurred lines between personal branding, empowerment, and the harassment that often follows.
Her fan base has gone, I'm talking about like...
It's a lot.
It's a lot. Like,
we see it all the time.
I know y'all see it. Like, I literally saw something today that was like, it's crazy, and it goes down to knowing, like, again, we are humans. Like, multiple occasions people have made AI pictures of
Jason Whitlock, a commentator known for his bold takes, has been one of the prominent voices questioning Angel Reese's narrative regarding her claims of harassment. Whitlock suggested that Reese might be playing the victim in order to gain attention, arguing that her story doesn't quite add up. This view is shared by a growing number of fans who are scrutinizing Reese's social media presence, particularly her Instagram, where she often posts stylized and provocative images. These fans argue that it's difficult to reconcile her accusations of being sexualized with the way she presents herself online, leading some to believe that Reese might be more interested in boosting her profile than genuinely addressing online harassment. This controversy comes amid Reese's ongoing rivalry with Caitlin Clark, another rising star in women's basketball. Clark's profile has been steadily growing due to her incredible skills and her impact on the game, with record-breaking attendance at her games and a fan base that's expanding rapidly. Clark is often praised for her humility and focus on the game, while Reese's recent actions have stirred more drama and controversy. This contrast in public perceptions has resulted in a growing divide among fans, with many aligning with Clark and viewing Reese's attempts to gain attention as detracting from her on-court performance. Despite Reese's claims that she doesn't believe Clark herself holds any ill feelings toward her, Reese has pointed to Clark's fans as being a major part of the problem, blaming them for the harassment she's been facing. However, many have questioned how Clark's fanbase could be responsible for the creation and distribution of fake AI images of Reese and the harassment directed at her family, finding it difficult to make a direct connection. Whitlock even compared the situation to how NBA players deal with attention, noting that athletes like Deion Sanders have faced negative fan reactions without blaming other players or their supporters. He suggests that Reese is trying to shift the blame unfairly and, in doing so, is only drawing more negative attention to herself. As the drama continues to unfold, it seems that Reese's strategy of positioning herself as a victim is backfiring. Rather than gaining sympathy, her statements appear to be pushing more fans into Clark's corner. Clark, whose on-court performance speaks for itself, continues to receive positive press, while Reese's accusations of harassment are met with increasing skepticism. Fans are questioning whether Reese is truly a victim of harassment or whether she's using the situation to keep herself in the spotlight, particularly in relation to her rivalry with Clark.
Nothing. Well, I don't even understand what would motivate that comment. Caitlin Clark hasn't done anything. She goes out and plays basketball. I've never seen her trash talk. I've never seen her taunt Angel Reese. There's nothing there. But she's pretending like there is something there. There's one person who...
The ongoing drama between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark has evolved beyond basketball and sparked broader conversations about online harassment, the treatment of women athletes, and the way female athletes are often scrutinized for their appearance and behavior rather than just their performance. Reese's accusations of being harassed and sexualized, particularly due to her rivalry with Clark, have drawn significant attention, but they have also led to increasing skepticism. Many fans and commentators are questioning her motives, wondering if she is truly advocating for real issues or if she's using the situation to keep herself in the spotlight, while Reese has become a lightning rod for controversy. Clark continues to rise in prominence, earning praise not only for her basketball skills, but also for her authenticity, humility, and focus on the game. Her growing fan base and success on the court have made her a role model for aspiring players, and she is often seen as a contrast to Reese's more dramatic approach to fame. In the world of sports, where actions often speak louder than words, Reese's strategy of drawing attention to herself may not be paying off as she hoped. Instead of garnering sympathy, it seems to be pushing more fans into Clark's corner and giving Clark more room to shine. This situation has blurred the line between fame and infamy for Reese as she continues to face public backlash. At the same time, Reese's claims have brought attention to a broader issue in women's sports: the lack of adequate protections against online abuse and harassment. Fans are calling on the WNBA to take more proactive steps to safeguard its players, especially in the digital age, where online harassment can have a significant impact on athletes' mental health and safety. This demand for change could force the league to reevaluate its approach to player safety and the pressures that come with being in the public eye. Ultimately, the public will decide which narrative to support. Is Angel Reese truly a victim of harassment? Or is she using the controversy to gain attention? Is Caitlin Clark as humble and focused as she appears, or is there more to her story? As the rivalry between these two players continues to play out, it is clear that their actions, both on and off the court, will shape the future of women's basketball and potentially the way female athletes are treated and represented in the media. The drama surrounding them is unlikely to dissipate anytime soon, and the fans will have a significant role in determining how these stories unfold.
The social media is a whole nother obligation and a whole nother business onto just being a performer. Much like Angel is a performer on the basketball court, there is an onus and a responsibility that these athletes or entertainers have to their brand.
The ongoing saga surrounding Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark in the world of women's basketball is revealing how much more complex an athlete's role has become in today's media-driven world. Social media has evolved into its own business, demanding athletes to balance their performance on the court with managing their personal brand and image. As athletes become entertainers and public figures, the pressure to navigate both their sport and public persona becomes increasingly difficult.